Hello, Tom Kosnik, founding partner of the Vices Group, with an economic and staffing industry update for our President's Roundtable. At the beginning of the year, I do an extended presentation on the economy and the staffing industry. This presentation here is an abbreviated, just a few slides, give you a taste of what we talk about at the President's Roundtable. So I'm going to talk about do a quick economic update and a staffing industry update for you. So on to some key points about the economy. You can see here that the GDP with the Conference Board is predicted to continue to slow down. We've been seeing this and experiencing this. The reason why we look at the GDP is that it is the most correlated economic statistic to the staffing industry. If the GDP is growing, the staffing industry is growing. If the GDP is shrinking, the staffing industry is shrinking. So you can see here that the Conference Board in 2023 is showing that the economy is going to continue to slow down. Consumer spending, which is, as you may know, 70% of the economy is consumer spending, and which is why we hear so much about it when we're listening to the news. This also, we saw in Q4 of 2022 that people were stopping, holding up on buying big items, but now we're starting to see people spending less on smaller items. But the Conference Board here also shows that consumer spending is going to decrease Q1, Q2, and Q3. So two very important economic indicators showing that the economy is slowing down. This slide here shows good signs for us, and that is that the unemployment rate is not going to, well, anyway, according to the Conference Board, that the unemployment rate is not going to go north of 5%. Good sign for us. And see if I can get my head out of the way here, but the labor force participation rate is basically staying at about 62%. So people are coming back to work. Good sign for us in the staffing industry that these two factors are what they are. You can see rate of inflation here. We've been doing a lot of reading on inflation. We peaked in June of 2022. You can see that inflation has continued to decrease. A good sign for us in the industry. And here the nowcast doc from the Cleveland Feds here show that the December 2022 CPI inflation index 1%. And I know we're just on the tail end of a 0.25% increase from the Feds. But what this says is that the interest rate increases that the Feds have already done are going to continue to have a positive effect on decreasing the inflation rate. So I know a lot of us are concerned about that. It's actually affecting a lot of people up and down the economic food chain. I am a big fan of the ITR economics. This is their core economy at a glance. You can see that ITR, along with some other economic organizations that we follow, they're showing that in 2023, the economy is going to continue to slow down. 2024 is when they're predicting a deeper slowdown. Whether that's going to happen or not, we'll know more in Q4. It seems like this whole big recession that we've been talking about is like a can that keeps getting kicked down the road here. But good sign that the economy is, according to the ITR, is not going to go into a recession, but it's just going to continue to slow down. So key economic takeaways for us: GDP is looking weak for 2023, so does not bode well. However, let's see, consumer spending slowing, the ITR data that the economy is continuing to slow. So that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin, that our participation rates have remained steady. Unemployment remains relatively low. Inflation is continuing to reduce. So is there going to be a recession or not? We who knows? But it's sort of a tale of two cities here with the economy. And we still have a lot of clients that have more open job orders than resources to fill those job orders. Just a quick thoughts on the staffing industry. So this comes from our friends over at the Staffing Industry Analysts. If we've been longtime corporate members of SIA, we encourage you to look at it. There's a great organization. So we see year-over-year change. This is their employment report from their most recent employment report. Year-over-year change in total non-farm employment. We can see that this has been dropping since March, since last year, for a year now. Year-over-year change in temporary help. You can see this is dropped quite a bit. And we can also see our temp penetration rate now is just below that 2% mark. So our the number of temporaries that we are putting on billing in the industry have continued to decrease. The Bullhorn staffing indicator, you can see here the commercial hours, the hours in commercial staffing down 14% year over year. Professional down 5% year over year. So the Bullhorn report, hours report, is showing that the staffing industry is continuing to contract. A few things here on U.S. revenue growth through, and of course, this very last column is the column that we want to look at. And you can see that the staffing industry actually, even though the economy is decreasing, that staffing industry is contracting. Staffing industry is showing that we're predicted a 2% growth. So where is that growth coming from? Wage inflation. So don't be fooled by the numbers here. The wage inflation is what's driving the growth in revenue. A lot of our clients have switched the narrative and the focus from fulfillment to sales. A lot more activity on the sales side of things. Job seekers, we're still just below 2 open jobs for people looking for a job. Again, most of these jobs, however, when it comes to professional jobs, IT, engineering, accounting and finance, healthcare, we're at a fully deployed workforce for the most part. A lot of these jobs here are hospitality, low-end manufacturing, where we have 2 jobs for every person looking for a job. And surprisingly, our quit rates remain relatively high. We're averaging about 3.9 million quits per month. Certainly is going to affect this is affecting all of us. So challenges in some of these areas. So wage inflation, 4.6%. This is from a survey from SHRM. Yeah, expect your salespeople and recruiters to continue to ask for raises because the inflation is what it is. Threw this in here for a little bit of fun. This is a friend of mine, associate of mine out in the western suburbs, was walking down the street and found this ad. Again, a lot of organizations are looking for work. With our commercial clients, we've seen about half. They've seen their open job orders decrease by half. Is that going to decrease more? I recently heard that we're in the 5th straight month of commercial staffing declining. So key takeaways with the staffing industry that hey, even though the staffing industry analyst predicts that we're going to grow in 2023, a deeper dive shows some discrepancies, and that is the industry is contracting, the economy is contracting, the revenue growth is predominantly wage inflation. So with your sales folks, that 0.3 there, shift from fulfillment to sales, change up your sales messaging is going to be key. And be careful not to take your eye off the ball with fulfillment. So 2023 growth is going to be challenging. So certainty drives stability in our industry. We're starting to see a lot of technology fatigue here, and turnover rates in our industry likely to remain high. We host roundtables, peer roundtables in the industry, do a lot of organizational development, consulting work, leading compensation consulting. Feel free to reach out to us, and hope that this brief video was shed a little light and was somewhat helpful. Thank you.